Good morning. That is one of my favorite of all time Christmas songs. Good morning. This is a new segment. Your board, your reverend. I already have that. Oh, no, I don't. This is an effort to streamline announcements. There will be a board member up here each week. All routine announcements will be made on the back of your bulletin. Oh, excuse me, I am Marcia Smith, your vice president. Please save your bulletin for handy reference. All announcements should be sent to Eileen in the office by Thursday to be placed on the bulletin as space allows. And Eileen will also be starting a mid-month update to supplement Connection. This time will be special announcements and anything the board wants to highlight. Last week's special offering for Laurel Civic Association took in $932. Thank you for taking part in this key effort of the congregation. You should have received an email about the new shareholder meetings. These meetings are not just about finance. They have a larger purpose. We want your views, suggestions, and above all, your participation. There will be one meeting each week in January, February, and March. The January sign-up sheets are now on the lanai. If you have any questions, see Linda Underwood or John Spitzer. At 11:30 today, Reverend Amy and John Van Camp will lead a discussion following service and social time to explore how you Carvers want to address the many social issues affecting our community. That's at 11:30 after the service. I have a few calendar notes and then I'll be on my way. The Transition Support Group is on break. No Transition Support Group until January 3rd. The new Ladies Open Fellowship starts this Thursday. And the Grief and Support Group is now first and third Wednesdays at Waters. Thank you. It's on the bulletin, isn't it? Okay, 12/18 is a go. All right, yeah. Try to get these in ahead of time. I couldn't read it. Yes. I already said it. Yeah.
Marcia, excuse me. Sorry, but the noon Thursday deadline for getting things in comes to me rather than Eileen because they go directly to me and I put them in the bulletin.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Well, you're all quiet. Usually this is what notes you. We're ready.
Your microphone.
I'm doing this. I'm sounding the singing bowl. That is usually a signal for everybody to quiet down, but you're quiet already because of the announcements. All right. Well, thank you, Drew. Can you hear me? Okay, looks like head nods. All right. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Venice, which we shorten out of practicality to UCOV. I am Jean Spitzer. I'm the worship associate working with Amy for this morning's service. If you are broken, weighed down with worry and fear, this is the place for you. Not later, when you can do more or be more. Today, now. If you are joyful, this is the place for you. Not someday, when you need help or want to take the time. Today, now. If you are Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Wiccan, atheist, humanist, confused, and seeking, this is the place for you. We extend a special welcome to those who are single, married, divorced, gay, straight, filthy, rich, dirt, poor. No hablan inglés. We extend a special welcome. to those who are crying newborns, brokenhearted, or in need of a safe place. This is the place for you if you can sing like Barbra Streisand or if you sound like scraping nails. You're welcome here if you're just browsing, just woke up, or just got out of jail. Amy wrote this. We don't care if you believe in God or if you've never been to church. This is the place for you. We extend a special welcome to those who are over 60 but not grown up yet, and to teenagers who are growing up too fast. We welcome soccer moms, NASCAR dads, starving artists, tree huggers, latte sippers, vegetarians, junk food eaters. We welcome those who are in recovery or still addicted, binge streaming. We welcome you if you're having problems, or if you're down in the dumps, or if you don't like organized religion. We've been there too. If you blew all your offering money at the horse track or casino, you're welcome here now, not later. We offer a special welcome to those who work too hard, don't work, can't spell, or who came because grandma lives in town and wanted to go to church. This is the place for you if you could use a prayer right now, if you had religion shoved down your throat as a kid, or got lost in traffic and wound up here by mistake. We welcome tourists, seekers, and doubters, bleeding hearts, broken hearts. If anyone is here for the first time and feels comfortable doing so, please stand up and someone will bring a microphone to you so you can introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carrie, and I live in South Venice, just off of Alligator.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Anyone else?
Yeah, my name's Sarah, and I live in Island Walk, and I came with Roxy. Glad to be here.
Welcome, Sarah. If anyone has come back this week, we'd like to say welcome home. Feel free to raise a hand. Just stand up and holler.
Doreen and Tom Einison, we were away for the summer. We're back now. Good to see you.
Hi, Doreen. Welcome, Irene and Tom. We are now entering into a sacred space, so please silence all the electronics you may have tucked in your pocket or purse today. Divine spark, I'm going to say it. Divine spark from sacred dark, symbol of our holy intent, illuminate this hour. And Lisa now will play a prelude.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. It is so good to see each and every one of you. Come in here from wherever you have been. Come away from all the should-haves and would-haves and could-have dones. If only this or that had happened or not happened. All that has happened or not happened is beside you and behind you. Be here now. Be present in this moment. Bring yourself, bring all of your disasters. We've all had them. Bring all of your successes. We want to share them. Bring everything that makes you, you. Be whole in this space. You don't have to be perfect to be here. We come here today to see and to be seen and to hold on to one another for support exactly as we are. Come in knowing that you are enough. So come and let us worship here together. UCOV is a welcoming, caring community who's open to anyone who respectfully enters the space. We encourage spiritual growth, we seek meaning, and we pursue justice all together. So please join me now in reading the words of our covenant, which is the promise of how we will be together. It's written on the back of your bulletin. In a climate of joy, goodwill, and trust, this congregation covenants to treat one another with kindness and respect, to listen with openness and acceptance, to support and protect the environment of which we are all a part, to solve problems responsibly as we grow and change, to encourage learning and nurture the growth of diverse human spirits, and to dedicate time, talent, and resources in an effort to make a difference in local and world communities. In the spirit of our free religious heritage, we promise these to one another. Now, our first hymn this morning is one we don't do as often as I would probably like. It's number 151, I Wish I Knew How, and we're going to be doing verses 1 through 3. This is an Appalachian hymn. Some of you may have heard Peter, Paul, and Mary used to do a cover. But it's a little upbeat, it's a little fun. So let's try it. Please stand in body or spirit and join in singing number 151, verses 1 through 3. I Wish I Knew How.
All
African American community through Appalachia, and it's just a fun one to do sometimes. This is the time in our service where we do our offering, and as always, it is done with levity because giving should never hurt. A UU minister's Sunday sermon was about forgiving your enemies and letting go of things that don't serve you well. Toward the end of the service, he asked his congregation, "How many of you have forgiven your enemies?" And about half of them held up their hands. He then repeated his question, and as it was past lunchtime, this time about 80% held up their hands. He then repeated it again, and everyone responded, except for one small, delightful elderly woman. "Miss Jones," inquired the minister, "are you not willing to forgive your enemies?" "I don't have any," she said, smiling angelically. "Why, Miss Jones, that's amazing. How old are you?" 93, she said. "Oh, Miss Jones, what a blessing and a lesson to us all. Would you please come up to the front and tell us how a person can live 93 years and not have an enemy in the world?" And this adorable little sweetheart of a lady tottered down the aisle, faced the congregation, and said, "I outlived the old bats." So that our congregation might continue to outlive everything, I would ask that the morning offering now be given and gratefully received. Thank you all so much, not just for these gifts, but for everything that you do for the life and the work of this community. Because it's as a community of human hearts and human hands that we come together here to bear witness and minister to one another as we struggle with our sorrows and to celebrate with each other as we face our joys. Before or during the service, you're welcome to light candles here on the candle table. At this point in the service, we will light them for you. So at this time of sharing, if you have something, please raise a hand. Someone will bring you a microphone. Please share only those stories that are yours to tell.
My joy is that on Wednesday, Jan and I are celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary.
I'll do the honors, Dave. There should be a big parade in Venice this week, I'm guessing. Venice High School won the 7A state championship game yesterday, and Dave and I were there in Miami to witness them win 52-19. We clobbered them.
It's with great sadness that I say my father passed away on November 12th, and I have been away for 3 weeks in New Jersey with my family. So please give Walter Leslie Titus your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Donna Jewett, and I am the party girl, and I just want to give a little plug for tonight. We're having a holiday party at Bird Bay, where I happen to live, so bring your appetizers, come join us, and have some fun. 5 to 8. Thank you. My plug.
I'm going, you all should too. May the love of this community hold all who need love and concern. May the light of our community shine on the broken places of the world. May we never look away when we are needed. May those who are grieving be comforted and those who are tired find rest. May the broken places be healed, and may those who are filled with joy and laughter be abundant.
This is the first reading today, and it is called Letting Go, from 100 Wisdom Stories from Around the World by Margaret Silf. A Mediterranean story tells of a very old man who lived a long, happy life on a beautiful island. He loved his homeland. Through many generations, his family had lived there, made their homes there, and earned their livelihood. When he realized he was reaching the end of his life, he asked his sons to take him outside one last time. He knelt down and gathered a handful of soil, which he clutched tightly in his gnarled hands. Soon afterward, he died. Upon arriving at heaven's gate, the angels greeted him. When he tried to cross the threshold, however, he was unable. The angels said, "You must let go of the soil you're clutching." The old man said he could never do that. "This," he said, "is my native soil, the earth of my beloved island home." So the man wandered alone outside the gate. After a few years, the angels brought the man a taste of the heavenly banquet, trying to entice him to come in. He wanted to join them, but was still unable to let go of that soil he was grasping. Again, they left him. After still more years, the angels returned, this time with the old man's granddaughter, who had grown old herself and died. She was thrilled to see her grandfather. "Oh, Granddad, I'm so happy you are here. Please come and join us in the heavenly kingdom. We love you so much, and we want you with us for all eternity." The old man was so overwhelmed to see his granddaughter that he completely forgot himself. In his joy, he flung out his arms to embrace her. When he did, the soil slipped right through his fingers. And as he passed through the gates, he saw the whole beloved sight of his beloved island awaiting him. Meditation time, and this is a very brief preparation as we bring our hearts and minds and spirits into quiet. This is from A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. "You are fettered," said Scrooge, trembling. "Tell me why." "I wear the chain that I forged in my life," replied the ghost. "I made it link by link and yard by yard. I girded it of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Is its pattern strange to you?" Please join me in 1 minute of silent thought, meditation, or prayer. Lisa, thank you for gracing us with that thoughtful music. Second reading. I've read through this enough times that I've grown to appreciate it. This is from Leave Your Baggage Behind by Reverend Maureen Frescott. We may lighten our load by leaving behind the physical baggage that we don't really need, but we are called to leave behind our emotional and spiritual baggage as well, because this kind of baggage is much more difficult to carry and much more likely to keep us from becoming the people that God calls us to be. In his book, Traveling Light, Max Lucado describes how we all carry this baggage without even realizing we're doing it. Lucado writes, odds are you have bags in your hand right now, somewhere between your first step out of bed this morning and your last step out the door, you walked over to the baggage carousel and loaded up, picking up a suitcase of guilt, a sack of discontent. You draped a duffel bag of weariness on one shoulder and a garment bag of grief on the other. Add on a backpack of doubt, an overnight bag of loneliness, and a trunk of fear. Pretty soon you're juggling more luggage than a sky cap. No wonder you're so tired at the end of every day. Carrying all that baggage is exhausting. We carry our emotional baggage for the same reasons why we carry so many possessions when we travel. Because we're afraid to leave them behind. Because they distract us from bigger fears that we don't want to deal with, and because although they are heavy and slow us down, over time they have become comfortable and familiar, and we don't know how to move forward without them. We are now going to sing a hymn 298, Wake Now My Senses. Please rise in body and spirit.
I love being able to title a sermon Ghosts around Christmas time. I was married for years to a Brit, and in England, around Christmas, it is the time to tell ghost stories. So even though this is not a ghost story, it fits in with the season. When I was about 12 years old, my dad decided that it was time to teach me how to water ski. And I loved the idea, little worried about the execution. More than anything in the world, I wanted to be out there behind that boat skiing. And more specifically, I wanted to ski off the 2-story water ski jump at Lake Cumberland. You can feel the trauma coming. I got in the water, I put on my skis, I got up, and I went down. Got in the water, put on my skis, got up, and I went down. I repeated this about 9 billion times, but by August I could ski. And I loved it. I was all over the lake for weeks, and then I decided it was time to try the jump. And for those of you who've never seen one, a water ski jump is terrifying. Comes out of the water like this, and then drops off at a 90-degree angle, and your boat pulls up to the side at full speed. And when you reach the jump, you go up, and the boat goes along the side and keeps right on going. And you jump off, and then you hit the water and keep following the boat. It's very simple, theoretically. And the last thing my dad said when we were getting ready to make the run is, listen, go straight, keep your legs bent, you'll be fine. There's a pause, and he said, but when you fall on your head, remember to let go of the rope. Be sure you let go. And the boat took off before I could back out, and I stood up on my skis, and there the ramp was in front of me. And I made it about 6 feet up the ramp. I didn't make it 7. And I hit that ramp with every inch of my entire body. And I held on to the rope. Held on even though he told me to let go. Held on, and this is a true story, held on even when it felt like I was leaving half my skin and all of my bathing suit. And I held on for 30 feet of what was essentially a giant cheese grater. And then I hit the top and dropped 25 feet like the world's biggest fishing weight. And Dad circled the boat, and when I stopped drowning and he got me in, he said, why didn't you let go of the rope? And I couldn't tell him the truth. I was too scared to let go. I was too scared, even though I knew that that rope, that point of attachment, was going to hurt me. I was too scared even though somebody had told me how to save myself. I hung on, too scared to let go. I hung on to the rope. Now, all of us have a bunch of ropes in our lives. Some of them are huge enough to moor a barge. They're ropes made out of family and partner and jobs and schools. Some are great ropes. They lead you places. Some are not. Some ropes are actually chains that we have forged link by link. The clubs and the churches we join, the organizations we support, the hobbies and the interests that lead you one step at a time to other things, the material possessions we accumulate. We may be years older, but we are tied and chained to who we were. Stephen King, the writer, did a marvelous interview years ago, and he said, if you take any group who went to high school or college together, and you wait 25 or 30 years, and you put them all back in a room together, it's amazing. The guy who hasn't picked up a football since he was 18 is suddenly talking about football again, and touchdowns and passes. The class clown who became a lawyer and hasn't laughed is suddenly telling jokes and cracking everybody up. The student who peaked in high school and now owns a McDonald's is discussing Hadron Colliders. We aren't there anymore, but we're still connected. We're connected to all the little pieces of who we ever have been. And like Marley's ghost in A Christmas Carol, we wear the change we forge in life. They are the ghosts of us, ghost images of the people who we were at various points in our lives. These are the ghosts of life past, possessions which no longer mean much, markers from our years and our achievements and our failures. Now, some ropes or chains, as I said, they just lead us smoothly. We want to keep them. Other times, we have to let go of the rope. And we do a good job when it's mundane. At some point, we stop wearing our high school class ring. If you changed majors in college, at some point you stop saying, oh, I'm pre-law, and you start saying, oh, I'm going to teach elementary school. We bag up the toys from when we were 10. We eventually give our surfboard to our kid. We grow up. But there's one area where cutting the rope is more challenging, and that area is spirituality and religion. The Jesuit priest Ignatius Loyola said, "Give me a child until he's 7 and I will give you the man." I've always found that vaguely horrifying. You obviously have been shaped by the religious perspectives you have been exposed to in your life. But religion isn't science, and spirituality isn't some recipe that you learn at 7. At 7, some of us still believed we could grow up to be an elephant. We ate paste. That is not the time to solidify forever your religious perspective. Now, if you truly have found a spiritual and religious perspective and belief system that you can live by, awesome. Awesome. That is amazing. What a gift. What a joy. If your system already matches the lived values that you have, that's wonderful. But if not, you got to let go of the rope. You've got to let go of the ghost, or at least harness them and recognize them as relics that may or may not be relevant. A life of moral and ethical and spiritual depth requires that you progress. Your beliefs and your practices have to align. Your actions and your approach to life need to match. Spiritual maturity is about finding a whole that you can live with, beliefs that apply to your daily life. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm going to ask for a show of hands. How many of you have ever in your life at any point belonged to a religion where you said, well, I love the people and I like being there, but I don't believe this, that, or the other? And you kept going, maybe for a long time, but there were pieces of it, you're like, oh yeah, I'll just read that, but I don't believe it. It doesn't match who I am. Well, here you have a chance to have what you say you believe match the way you live. Letting go can be absolutely amazing. Writer and monologuist Julia Sweeney said, I have a deep affection and ties to my Catholic culture. I'd gone to 12 years of Catholic school and briefly wanted to become a nun. However, I hadn't spent any significant time seriously considering my belief system. I started reading and listening to audiobooks. It all started with How We Believe by Michael Shermer. I began to go to those lectures and read and think. This quest to understand and to develop a solid point of view consumed me for a couple years. I went from reading Shermer to reading Carl Sagan and then Daniel Dennett, to Steven Pinker, to Richard Dawkins, Susan Blackmore, to Victor Stenger and others. I stopped believing in God. It was quite dramatic. I wasn't wishy-washy about it. I wasn't merely non-religious, but what I discovered wasn't a world without God. Instead, a fully natural world, precarious and messy and cruel and glorious. I found I had enormous appreciation for the method that gets us closer to truth, the scientific method. What I discovered was simply this: good, solid, critical thinking, and I started to look at my whole world through that lens. What I found was a powerful and profound way of looking at life. That's amazing. She found what suited her. And while Sweeney let go of the Christian God, others have found a belief in a divine being or changed from one major or minor belief system to another. But to find what mattered now, each one of them had to let go of the pieces that no longer made sense. And that letting go happens over and over again in all kinds of religious texts. If you're familiar with the Christian Bible, in the book of Matthew, the rabbi, Jesus, is walking around the Sea of Galilee, and he sees Simon Peter and his brother Andrew, and they were on the bank fishing, and he stood and watched them and said, "Put down your nets, follow me, I'll make you fishers of men." Now, he didn't tell them, pack up your stuff, even though fishing was a valuable trade. He said, put it down. Leave it behind. Leave it right there on the bank. I have better things for you to do. And a few days later, they met two other brothers, James and John, who were out fishing with their father. And Jesus told them too, drop your nets. Just drop them where you stand. Come with me. They left their boat. They left their father. They left their nets. The imagery is relevant no matter what you believe. When it is time to begin a spiritual journey, don't drag your old nets with you. Why behave like you are still a fisherman if you are not? Why carry the weight of a net that you will not need? Let go of the rope. Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, had a similar experience. He was wealthy, a prince. At 29, he left the palace and went out among his people, saw age and poverty and suffering, and he let go of the rope. He put it all down. He left his money. He left his fancy clothing. He left the good food. He cast off the weight of the privilege he carried and went out to seek some kind of enlightenment. Let go of the rope. A poet named Marjorie Alcalde, as she was dying, wrote about the speed of time. In her poem on borrowed time, she says this: a doctor says we'll wait and see. They say live on borrowed time. Borrowed from what, I want to ask? From the times I wished for it to speed? When I was young? When will Christmas come? Soon? 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 When will the angry voices stop? When will I be old enough? When will summer vacation come? In the middle years, will he call tomorrow? You think tomorrow? Will the baby sleep through the night? When will the child stop coughing? When will the house be clean? When will all the meals be cooked? When will I hear about that job? When will retirement finally come? As I grow old, when will I ever fall asleep? When will the aches and pains stop? When will my family call me? When will the world's bad news abate? And now I know there's only now. Time's an iridescent bubble, fragile, floating out of my reach. It can't be borrowed or kept, only lived and looked at with love. And that last sentence is the one that gets me. Examine your life with love. and with grace. Examine your beliefs. Look where your ropes lead. You have today. Start now. You don't know what's coming. If there are things that call to you, absolutely keep them. If you are an atheist who loves to sing Christmas carols with the word God, you sing at the top of your lungs. If you're a Christian who says, half that stuff is foolishness, I don't believe those pieces, don't believe those pieces. Live your life by the pieces you do believe. Take the pieces that matter to you. Hold on to the pieces of yourself and beliefs that strengthen you. Tighten the ties to the ghosts that lead you in the right directions, the memories and beliefs that you find to be true and meaningful. Dump the long dead pieces of belief that are not relevant. Put down your nets. Now, I may not be the Messiah. In fact, I'm definitely not the Messiah. But take a walk with me anyway. Take a walk with each other. Don't define yourself by who you were, even if who you were was just yesterday. Let go of the rope. Let go of the rope. Practice it every day. Put your hands up and let go of the rope. Amen. We extinguish this chalice and we carry the flame onward in our hearts to burn away the things we no longer need and to illuminate our world. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn this week, number 86, Blessed Spirit of My Life. Go into the world free from the chains that you do not want, which bind you. Peace, Ashe, and may it be so. Amen.